You guys are live.
Hello, ladies and laddies. I'm Noots.
And I'm Kuro Asterisk, helping commentate this run today.
And we are playing Flushed Away for License-a-thon 2021. Ah, man. It is time to get this run going for sure. Alright, so I'm going to count us down. We've got a wonderful run ready to be played, so do 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
So we're going to be hopping into the first level of the game, Kensington Apartment. This is split up into two different sections, living room and kitchen. Living room is supposed to be a long tutorial section, teaching you how to jump, double jump, and attack. But Newts is a gamer. He knows what he's doing, so he doesn't need this. He's going to be performing what we call living room skip. So he'll be playing through normally up until he gets to the lampshade. As opposed to turning left, he will instead jump on the lampshade. He will then jump from the lampshade onto the wooden beam, and then zipline down it. This will skip like 3 minutes, completely skipping the entire tutorial section.
There's also an alternate way of doing this, but it is tasks only. Where, oh, whoops. Alright, anyway. So, the alternate method is to jump on top of the couch and have the North gun, as the game calls it, shoot you twice, and when you're shot, there is a 1-frame window to jump. If you're hit from the front, then you can jump on frame 17. This game runs at 30 frames per second. And if you are hit from the back, it is a... Oh man, whoops, alright. That's fine. It gives us more time to talk about the task-only skip. So, task-only skip, as I said, if you were to jump to the right of where I am right now, and then you were to get intentionally hit by those darts that are hitting close to me right now, then you could get over here just a little bit faster. It's extremely hard though. And now we get to the pantry/closet.
Yeah, this level is littered with kill plans. Even though it's the first level, it really wants you to stay on path. But now I'll explain kitchen. So once he gets up to the top of this pantry/closet, the goal is basically to get to the sink on the kitchen island. You're supposed to go around the entire kitchen, but Newt's is going to take a more direct path. So there's another way to get a frame-perfect jump in midair, and that is an attack jump. He'll throw an attack out in midair, and then 32 frames afterwards, he'll press jump. Again, frame-perfect, so it's pretty hard to pull off. But
got it first try though, so we're all good.
Very good. He can't go to the sink directly though, since the end level trigger isn't there yet. So he has to climb up the rope and then drop in. He'll have to avoid North gun darts and have to weave through kill plans when he drops.
And we just got it.
Trick. Very nicely done. And yeah, so that's Kensington Apartment. So he'll be sent to the hub world to pick up a new quest, which will send us to our next mission, a jar of flies, which I'll start explaining now since a lot goes into it. So a jar of flies is supposed to be like a pretty lengthy level, say like 7-ish minutes. However, so when you start the level, you're supposed to jump into this pipe. The pipe will then break and you'll fall into it, and that'll send you to the rest of the level. What Newts is going to do instead is he's going to wedge himself under an invisible wall to get past where the pipe is supposed to be, jump on the very edge of the pipe, and then just go past it. And I'll explain the rest once he gets it.
And we just got it. There we are. Second try.
Very nice. So he pretty much skipped 5 minutes. He's basically at the end of the level. All he has to do is collect flies. He first needs to trick the game into spawning the flies, like tricking the game into thinking that he's at the right area. So he will drop into an elevator, which is where he's supposed to be at like the very end of the level. Say you do this level completely normally.
right in the elevator, so we're gonna catch some flies now.
You'll notice when Newts entered the elevator, he took fall damage. Fall damage is very brutal in this game. If Newts fell for like even a couple more frames, he would have died completely to fall damage. It is that brutal. He had to do very like specific movement to make sure he didn't die. But there is a way to avoid fall damage, which we'll hopefully get to see in the next level. But yeah, he just needs to get to the end, and that's a jar of flies.
So the wall that I just entered a weird animation on, that's called a shimmy. If I were to avoid that, that saves about a second or so.
Yeah, very nicely done. The first skip he did is pretty tough to get under the invisible wall, but very nicely done. So now we'll be moving on to the third level, Enter the Lair. So as opposed to playing as Roddy, we will instead play as Rita. She's pretty much the same moveset, jump, double jump, attack, but she also has a grapple she can use, which we will be utilizing for movement.
Right.
What Newts is going to do, he has to get to the warehouse area, and he's going to do that faster by jumping over this large, like, crevice, and he'll be using an attack jump again to get there. And then he'll get to the warehouse roof.
First try Rita attack jump. Let's go.
Very nice. Again, that is a frame perfect trick. Not easy to do. So now, once he gets to the roof, we're going to be entering the warehouse. He's going to go out of bounds, actually. So we're supposed to go through this flood room, which is this very long vertical area, but that takes forever. So long, so he's just going to drop directly down. So he'll get out of bounds, and then he'll fall a very large distance. He would die from fall damage, but he's going to try and perform a death cancel, which is throwing out an attack right as he lands that nullifies all fall damage.
I missed it the first time. I think I'll try one more time before doing the safe strat.
Yeah, as opposed to, there is a safer strat once you get out of bounds by using her grapple, but the death cancel is faster. But of course, it is frame perfect.
Did not get it. We'll do a safe strat now.
You got the attack jump first try on getting to the warehouse, so that's good enough, I'd say.
Yeah, we can only have a few frame perfect inputs per run, am I right?
Well, we'll think back to your run a couple days ago.
Oh man, that was epic.
That's another story. Yeah, Newts actually just crushed it and got world record just a couple days ago practicing for this event.
Alright, that jump is a bit tight. Oh, my camera angle is a bit messed up there, but
Feeling a bit sluggish, mate?
that jump is a bit tight to do. Let me try one more time here.
Another difference between the two characters is Rita's airspeed is just tremendously slower than Roddy's, so making jumps is much harder with her. You have to be way more precise. That jump that he was doing and died at, you're supposed to like go around using the other accordion thing, but again, he tried to take a more direct path.
I don't think we're gonna make this cycle, but yeah, we're not
would you like
making
to
it.
explain the gear scheme?
Oh man, this as you can see, the lighting here isn't that great. Console is a bit weird with lighting. Emulator definitely handles it a bit better.
Yeah, we actually had to change OBS settings to make it as visible as it is now. So yes, this is as bright as we can make it. Newts' console is just, for whatever reason, darker than like mine. Not entirely sure what the reason is, but it just is. So he's going through the Steam section. The Steam has very big hitboxes, more than it would say. He died between the two cork pieces or slices of bread. We don't know what it is, so if any of you guys know, please let us know.
It's a big mystery. Flushed Away has many of those.
Yeah, you may have noticed it's very easy to die here. Fortunately, there's an infinite amount of lives. But another unfortunate thing is this led to the developers to make kind of weird decisions with platforming, since you don't really get punished besides getting sent back. So some things are pretty tight or just unforgiving, such as the lighting of this game. But yeah, as he gets through this final steam room, he will perform another trick once he gets past it. This is known as a grapple jump. So as Rita grapples, she will either do nothing to slowly descend, you can hold her position with Y, or you can get off the grapple with A. But if you combine holding her position and holding a direction and then mashing the A button, you'll be able to jump off the grapple, which you won't be able to do normally. This is known as a grapple jump, which allows you to get much greater vertical height. This skips going around this entire section to get up to this vent, which will then lead to the vent.
There we are. Got the grapple jump nice and easy.
Very nice. So we're about to enter the Toad's bedroom. Rita will switch from how she is normally and go into sneaking mode if you want to go into that, Noots.
So sneaking is a very slow movement. So instead of doing that, we're going to use rolls. Rolling is a very... Oh, whoops, sorry. Forgot that needed to wait for the toad. Well, it gives me a little bit more time to explain this. So, as you may see for a couple times, if I miss my input for a roll, Rita moves very slow. So this saves about 3 to 4 seconds depending on your movement. Just rolling instead of, I guess it's a sidestep, but Roddy's is a roll, so we call it rolling. But yeah, we're past that now, and now we're gonna go into this room.
Yep, he's stealing a ruby back from the Toad. That's the plot that is currently going on. Once he steals it, he will then escape the Toad's bedroom and go on this little grind rail section until she gets to her boat. And that'll be the end of this level.
Yeah, grinding is pretty easy, so we can kind of just chill. I'm going to take the time to just say that the plot of this game is a bit different than the movie, as is, you know, most movie games. And there's a couple different characters, like Gilbert and Sullivan, you may have seen very briefly within the intro cutscene to Kensington. And you'll see another original character, in fact, later on in the next time that we go to the Jar of Flies area.
Now then.
Yes, the original character made specifically for the games. I'm sure the developers are very proud of her. But yeah, that is Enter the Lair. Yeah, again, a lot of like tight movement, especially in the beginning, and then it's just hoping you get good cycles with the gear spinning so you can get through the hole and the steam. But now we are on to the Jammy Dodger, which is pretty much the third playable character in this game. Movement with the boat is very different compared to Roddy and Rita normally. Obviously, you're on water and you are a vehicle as opposed to a rodent, so things are a little different. As for what the Jammy Dodger can do, he'll be able to accelerate by holding down A. You can also do a reverse, but you'll hardly see us ever use it unless we really get ourselves in a bad situation, which could be possible with the next boat level. After you finish this slalom course, you will then be prompted to use the Roman candle rockets. This has use in a very later level, but we won't be using it besides this tutorial section for this level. There are other items that the Jammy Dodger has at its disposal. There's a fire extinguisher, which only slightly boosts his speed, and when I say slight, like it's barely anything. There's this like seltzer pill, which we can't figure out what it's supposed to do. If it does anything, plays a cute little sound effect, that's it. And then there's salvaging, so Newt has to play this little mini game where he has to press each prompted button 5 times. It's very strict. If you like miss the button at all, it will send you back down, so it's an unfortunate way to lose time. But yeah, we'll only be salvaging once. You can sell the salvage you pick up to the shopkeepers to get items, but we won't do that in this run. So yeah, now we're out of the tutorial section, and we're on to the rest of Race with the Rats. We just gotta go forward till the end of the level. There is some movement tech that Newts will be employing here, so Newts, you want to take over and explain that?
So, one of the most important buttons, besides, A to accelerate, and, the analog stick, is the L button, in fact. The L button allows you to jump, and with that, there's a little buoyancy deal going on where the game will very much try to keep you on top of the water, and any downwards momentum that you have when landing will be transferred into forward momentum. So, one of the most basic forms of fast movement is called Dolphin Dives, where the boat will sink down a little bit, and then once you string them together, then the boat will look like it's a dolphin, basically. And one thing that you can do out of this is Insta Boosting. Insta Boosting is a fairly new technique that we had found basically this year, I'm pretty sure. Can't keep track of all the different, cool tricks that we have. But
yeah,
when you press the L button when you land in the water, depending on how you press it, or just when, and the position of the boat, you will get different boosts. If you press it frame perfect when you land the water and you're straight on the water, or even a little bit tilted back, then you can get pretty fast. Otherwise, it really depends. It's a very finicky trick, but once you master it, you can go pretty darn fast. Anyway, that's the end of Race with the Rats Part 1.
Yep, now we're on to Race with the Rats Part 2. So we'll be using the other functions of the Jammy Dodger. So it has an air cannon on the front, which you won't see, and we have the crayon cannon at the back. Newts will have to shoot 4 waves of enemies down. This level will end once the 4th wave ends. Once he beats those 2 rats at the end, the level ends. Newts, if you want to go over some of the advanced strategies you could pull off your task.
So in the task, we use a skip called Early Second Cycle, where if I were to turn around right here and shoot Fat Berry and Thimble-Nosed Ted as soon as they spawned, and got all 6 hits on them, because they each take 3 before they fall, I would end up spawning the next wave of them, which is them 2 plus Lady Killer. And that saves quite a bit of time. Otherwise, this is basically the same thing every time. You just have to make sure you don't really mess up very badly, which I'm doing pretty darn well right now. The only one that really matters, though, is Spike and Whitey, because as soon as they go down, then we get the end of the level.
Yeah, how the waves spawn in, there's only certain points to which the next wave can spawn in. So Newt's got all the earliest that he could do normally. Again, they're very hard to hit. The crayons are very small and they are very evasive. But yeah, great work. That is the end of Race with the Rats Part 2. And now we are on to escape the lair and follow that girl. So as the name entails, we must first escape the lair. This is another kind of large area, large and vertical, which Newts will take advantage of starting so high up. First, he'll try and get some attack jumps. These aren't necessary, but they do save time over the quote-unquote safe strategies. We call them safe strategies because you don't have to do attack jumps, but you still are at risk of dying.
Alright, got both of them. And got that ledge grab, so I avoided having to climb up.
Very nice. Yeah, so that's not how you're supposed to be able to do this level. You're supposed to like go all the way around and do all these different things, but yeah, we just take a more direct path. You just want to do some optimization. As you just saw, he phased through the floor after hanging off that rope. Now he's just making his way to the end of the level, or at the end of this section rather. Once he flips the switch, gets in the vent, and opens the door thing, we will then be moving on to follow that girl.
Speaking of this door thing, so you know that other button mashing section that we had a much harder time on that. I actually missed input once, but that's fine. It's not too much time lost. That is a lot less strict, and in fact, I have a method where the X button is to interact with things. And so, if you swipe between X, A, and B, which is the 3 buttons that you need to mash to get both of those, then you can get immediate activation, so you don't have to worry about, dealing with, finding which button to press first, or if you get lucky with pressing the X button first, and then you have to mash. Yeah, it's pretty darn nice. A lot better than the other mashing thing. And now it's time for Follow That Girl.
Yep, so the first part of it we like to call hydration break. We have to just ride on these 2 boats and then just run straight for a long stretch of time. Very easy, you just hold forward with one hand and get your sip of water that you've been dying for with the other. But yeah, as you can see on the bottom, there's now a sort of timer, if you want to call it. Little thing showing the distance between Roddy and the Jammy Dodger and Rita. This isn't like a running flagpole thing to where once you immediately get to the boat, the level ends. Yeah, also Newts just did a wall ride. He jumped around the corner, and then this allowed him to skip going like left and onto a boat and then getting to where he got. So it's a very tight trick. If you miss it, it sends you pretty far back. So I'm glad he got it first try.
Yeah, I've been mastering that one recently, yeah.
Yeah, it sucks to practice. You'll see Roddy's interacting with these colored orbs. It's called propeller points. The blue and purple ones send him horizontally, and orange and yellow ones send him vertically. The blue ones are very slow, like slower than how we can move normally, so a lot of times Newts will skip these blue orbs if possible. So you'll see many instances coming up to where he'll just completely forego touching the blue orb and just makes the jumps himself.
We just missed a cycle there, but if you get the right garbage cycle there, you can get over to this area pretty quickly. It's not the worst thing in the world, but it does lose quite a bit of time, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's like plus or minus 7 seconds. Which is unfortunate if you don't get a good cycle, but that is how it is. Yeah, Newts is going to take some weird movement after he passes the propeller points. This is to avoid activating a cutscene. A cutscene would show just like Whitey lurking over in the corner. He just avoided that, saves time, and we're able to do it just by not touching that kind of boxed area. But yeah, rest of the level pretty much is just optimized platforming. Just, again, you'll avoid blue propeller orbs when possible. Just making tight jumps, tight movement, and yeah.
There actually is some funny grind movement that you can do. I'll try to show it off later. But if you get on or get above the grind rail, it'll try to like put you on sometimes. But if you skew your angle on it just right, you can get the momentum from grinding, which is slightly faster than your usual airspeed. And then, oh man, whoops. That's a jump that I've been missing recently for no reason, but anyway. So yeah, there's a little funny trick you can do there. There we are. The rest of this level, pretty darn easy, so we're not gonna worry too much about that.
Yeah, so when it comes to double jumping in this game, it works a little different than how you might be imagining it. So typically, with like double jumps, it's just a mid-air jump you have once you're off the ground. This isn't exactly how it works in Flushed Away. A double jump can only be inputted about like less than a second after your first jump went off. If you miss that window, your double jump will just not go off. You will just not have it anymore. And yeah, it makes jumping over large gaps kind of difficult to do.
There we are,
yeah,
got that grind movement I was talking about earlier.
Very nice. Yeah, the grind rails are weird. I've like took a very long look into the grind rails and entered the layer, the final part of that, and found some weird things. But that is a story for another time. But yeah, very nice. So that was Escape the Layer and Follow That Girl. We'll now be sent back to the hub world and now talk to Charlie Wu, the other quest giver. And then we will be sent to the second boat level called A Good Deed, where we are sent to save some orphans. The whole level consists of going to the start of the area to the end of the area, then going from the end of the area to the start of the area. Unlike Race with the Rats, there's a lot more obstacles and just things in the way, which makes this level extremely precarious. If the Jammy Dodger ever gets stuck to where it's like out of the water and can't move, a 10-second timer will start ticking, and if it hits 10 and you're still stuck, you will just be killed and then sent all the way back. It is very punishing, and I have lost very good runs to that at the very end.
Flush away giveth, and flush away taketh away.
Exactly. You'll see Noots be doing Insta Boosting, as he explained before, just to get speed through the sections. Yeah, there's a lot of what we like to call Tony Hawk Pro Skater stuff that happens. I've got a pretty sick 720 into a ollie. I can't replicate it, but it sure does happen quite frequently. But yeah, much of this level involves making good jumps over like just these heaps of trash as opposed to going around them. And yeah, there's also a timer on the top right if you notice. That timer is pretty lenient, like you'll almost always make it. The only time I didn't make it was when I was playing this game casually for the first time. But yeah, we should get to the end with time to spare.
Alright, this level is treating me nice today. By the way, these boxes are weightless, so you don't have to shoot them or anything, even though a target icon appears.
Yeah, as you can see, he has 7 Roman candle rockets. He only needs 6. So we have 1 spare rocket to use. We'll probably use it at the end of the last level, the Jammy Dodger, as a nice little hoorah. And thank it for its service.
Ooh, those are some nice Insta Boosts.
Yeah, so Noots has mentioned it before, but he's planning to make a full task for this game, and one of the things that we're really excited to see is the boat. Just having the most optimal movement possible, because it's pretty difficult for us to constantly get the perfect Insta Boosting and all that stuff. So I'm sure the Jammy Dodger will just end up flying.
Alright, well, there's one way that the level can kind of mess you up a little bit. That was kind of my fault because I went in there a little too fast, but we're fine. It's all good.
Yeah, getting hit off course at all is very punishing. Especially during a run, this can just have you lose a bunch of time. But yeah, this level can be meaner, so thus far it has been pretty nice. But yeah, this is the start of where the game plot and movie plot really diverge. If to any astute, flushed away viewers, you may know that we did not save orphans during the movie. So yeah, we pretty much will be on our the own game thing until the last two levels. But talking about the own game thing, now we get to see the original character made specifically for the flushed away video games. This is a character known as Arachnid. You'll see once Newt enters the level, it'll look exactly like Jar of Flies, and it's sort of the same area, but there'll be spiders all around. He has to take out Arachnid. This is a good time to explain the combat in this game. So we've just been using attacks to let us get mid-air jumps with attack jumps. But now we're going to use attacking for attacking. There's 3 different combos Roddy can do. He can do his normal combo, his advanced combo, and his spin move combo.
The
most optimal amount of damage in a small window of time is his advanced combo into his spin move combo. That'll deal a total of 7 HP. He'll do this whenever Arachnid is vulnerable, which will be whenever he throws one of her spider eggs at her. Yeah, that's the most optimal way to deal damage normally, but there are strats to get it down to just 1 cycle, because typically it takes 2.5-ish cycles to kill her.
Usually I leave these spiders alone, but I need to work off my nerves, so I'm gonna beat them up a little bit.
Yeah, these are Arachnid's children, by the way, but she doesn't care that much about them, so this is okay. Also, you see the one in the top right corner not dealing with Newts right now. It's not because he's petrified and scared of Newts, it's because he's not within his line of sight. He has to be within a certain radius to activate the spiders that are chasing and attacking him. But yeah, you'll see Newts using the spin move combo to take them out. The spin move combo deals 4 HP total, and that's exactly the amount of health the Arachnid spawn has. But now we are on to Arachnid herself. This giant Brazilian spider. This is also the best music of the game.
Ooh, I got the 1 cycle. On stream.
Oh, really?
That is awesome. That is a frame perfect trick as far as we know. It's a second or so after she goes, like, stops at an egg sack, I guess it's called. Egg cup or whatever. She'll, like, sit there for a second and then place it down. Always skip that animation entirely by hitting her at just the right time, interrupting her AI.
Hello,
That was extremely lucky. That was awesome.
Yeah, very good. As New said, we don't really understand it, but yeah, very nicely done. Yeah, as he said, it disrupts her AI, so she'll just stay vulnerable. She won't ever try and continue the fight or try and fight you. She'll just keep holding onto your egg, which is when she's vulnerable. Well, now with that out of the way, we are now going to running the Gauntlet. This level is very long. This is like a fifth of the entire run. Is just this level. This level is composed of 4 different rooms. The first 3 rooms use Roddy, and the last room uses Rita. And between each room, we use the Jammy Dodger to get between them. The goal of each room is to unlock the gate so we can progress. This is accomplished by using levers. Yeah, by using levers that Roddy will have to interact with. For room 1, there are 2 levers, so Noots is going to first go after the far one, which will involve going around. And then when he comes back, he'll get the first one. And then he can pre-board the Jammy Dodger and get back on.
Alright, going for the death cancel strat here. It's pretty risky. Loses a bit of time. Ah, almost had it.
Yeah, so as you saw, he like went into the building from behind, and there's no collision for that building. If he were to get the death cancel, that would save much longer. That'd save a lot of time compared to doing normal strats.
I'm gonna go for one more time just because the viewers haven't seen death cancel yet. Ah, okay. Well, you can definitely check out the death cancel on any of my other runs for sure. Unlucky that I didn't get on stream, but oh well. Also, now that I just got hit by that, I'd just like to mention these enemies have a overshoot mechanic where they will lock on to where Roddy's position will be. So if I'm going in a straight line like I am right now, then the enemies will almost 100% hit me. So that's why I'm going to be jumping and hoping to the Lord that I don't get hit from behind, because that's kind of hard to react to. Which I didn't, so we're lucky there.
Yeah, projectile enemies are very punishing in this game. Yeah, sometimes they can like shoot you while you're making a jump, which will just completely cancel your thing, but that will allow for hit stun jumps. If you remember Newt's talking about that at the very beginning. That will be showed off in the task because, first of all, we have to have the North gun darts cooperate with us, which is a hassle because whenever we want it to hit us, it won't hit us. Whenever we don't want it to hit us, it will. It's just the way it is. So you'll see when Roddy is activating the switch, he'll do this animation, which like takes 3 to 4 seconds. There is a way to skip that entirely. If you activate like the switch, but then immediately go out of like the range to which you can activate the switch, the animation won't play, but it will still act as if you were that you have pressed the switch. Again, so each one saves like about 3 to 4 seconds. So it's very nice if you can get it, but obviously it's like pretty normal to not get it. As you'll see, we have to shoot down this brick wall. We have to use 3 Roman candles to do that.
It is cooperating with us today.
Yeah, sometimes the brick wall just likes to not get broken, and then we have to reboard the Jammy Dodger and shoot at it again. Yeah, we are hoping we can eventually avoid using and breaking the brick wall at all. There's this gap between like the 2 like sections, but it is just the slightest bit too far that we can't jump across normally.
Missed a jump, but while I took that small death, it's fine. That is like the only checkpoint you get is whenever you collect the gear. So if you die like almost getting to a gear, that is like a whole minute lost. This is why I call it the make or break level.
Yeah, so this room's gimmick is that the switch is broken in this room, so we can't unlock the door yet. So we have to pick up 3 gears all across this room to fix the switch. Then we can activate it and move on to room 3. But for now, it's just tight platforming and getting through. Once Noots collects the 2nd gear, he will try to avoid as many of the blue propeller points as he can. Again, using them is slow, it is safer, but obviously speed is what we're after.
Alrighty, on our way to collect the last gear, and then we'll be out of this room.
Yep, so we have to use the other dock in this room. So we reboard the Jammy Dodger to get there. And yeah, the docking is pretty lenient, as you'll see. Noots will just be like jumping like way past where the dock should be, and it'll still activate, which is very nice. I always like just getting as far away as possible and still activating it.
By the way, a little quick tidbit, that wall has very slight like floor collision, so you can kind of just run on that like that, and it skips quite a bit of running around otherwise. But yeah, that's the last gear, and now we're on our way to get the switch. Hopefully I can show off the animation skip, which is if I were to enter the range of where I can press X to activate it, and then leave immediately like the frame after, which I did not get there, but there's one more chance I can get it, then it would skip the animation entirely. As Kuro said earlier, it takes about 3 to 4 seconds. And now we are headed to the 3rd room.
Yep, the 3rd room is much more involved. So what you're supposed to do in room 3 is that you have to make yourself a bridge by playing this game called Pathfinder, this mini game. You use these exploding onions to move the crates in the water to make a direct path to the other side. We're not going to be messing with that game. We can actually skip it entirely. So as the crates are now, we're not supposed to be able to make it to the other side, but there's this very tight jump we can make. This will, first of all, if he dies, he'll be sent back to the boat, which is pretty far away. It's about a 40-second time loss. But again, it's much better than playing Pathfinder, so we will take the jump. But yeah, it is very precarious and difficult.
The scariest jump in the game, here we go. And we made it, just barely.
Very nice.
25% skill, 75% clench. That's what I call that one.
Yeah, that is the math on that. It's just difficult. As I explained, you don't have your double jump forever, so you have to like hit that double jump at the very like last part to when your double jump is available. Otherwise, if you are too late, then you'll just fall in the water. And if you're too early, you won't make the distance.
I wasn't able to get that last animation skip, but oh well. It's not too big of a time loss.
Yeah, they're hard to do. They're really more of a nice treat if you can get them. If you don't, then it is expected. The main method to try and get that is just like rotating the control stick as fast as you can, just trying to get Roddy in and out as quick as possible.
Yeah, I know it's ill-advised, but I'm going to go the fast strat here because I'm feeling pretty cool today.
Oh yeah.
Alright, I didn't get there, but you can see that Roddy is turned a bit there. his animation doesn't play correctly. If that happens, I die and then I turn the camera a little bit. I think I'm gonna go for the thing again, just because I learned that I can time that pretty well. It's pretty lenient. It's only about a few frames before you hit the ground, so I'm gonna go ahead and try it one more time. Ill-advised, I know, but...
What Noots is trying to do is board the Jammy Dodger before he dies of fall damage.
Ooh, I hit the sign. Okay, well, we'll do the normal way now. I don't want to mess around too much.
Yeah, normal strats is about like 5 seconds slower if you can hit getting onto the Jammy Dodger before dying. There are other ways to do it. You can like just like fall onto the area below, but that's also, there's like a way to get it where you only have 3 HP of fall damage as opposed to a lethal. But yeah, again, you see how far it sends you back, so, and this is very late into the run, so it's, yeah, pretty ill-advised to do, but wow, would it be cool to do it. Yeah, back on the Jammy Dodger, and that's it for Roddy for this level. So once he goes past this room, we'll be entering room 4, which is Rita's room. As for Rita's room, there's not much to it. It's pretty standard fare, just optimizing our platforming, jumping where we need to, and also grappling, because that's Rita's thing. But yeah, the next 3 levels after this are pretty involved, or there's a lot of things to talk about, so a bit of downtime if you want to like go over how you even got into speedrunning, flushed away in the game for the Nintendo GameCube.
So yeah, it's a pretty interesting story, I would say. I got into it, ironically. It's pretty funny. I just kind of picked up the game and I was like, you know what if I just picked it up and tried a speedrun just as a joke, you know? And, you know, sometimes you say things like that and you end up doing them seriously. And ever since November 2017, when I picked up the game and I decided, oh yeah, I can, you know, get a good time, I think. Then I got really involved. And look at me now. Almost 4 years later at License-a-thon. Ain't that a sight to see?
Yeah, I also got into Flushed Away for similar reasons, albeit much later. I only joined this February of this year. Yeah, again, I also did it ironically because, I mean, it is Flushed Away for the Nintendo GameCube, but it's a surprisingly fun speedrun to do. It's very rewarding when you get the tricks, but you also don't need to like go at like full 100% all the time. I'd say it's a pretty fun game to pick up, pretty easy, definitely a lot to master and fully optimize to get as fast as you can do yourself. The world record now, what Noots just got, was 52 minutes and 7 seconds. And it can go down further.
I think RTA can go about 50 minutes, maybe sub 50. It's very tight to get that though.
Yeah, we're still doing like glitch hunting and trying to find like other ways to like find out ways we can skip levels or just like save a whole bunch of time. And yeah, if you're interested at all in just trying to get this game as fast as it can go, or just want to watch the ride, Noots will be making a task, so that'll be a sight to behold. But
ooh,
yeah,
look at that. Some very epic speed. Alright, this next level is going to be very complicated to explain, so Kira, if you want to start on that real quick.
Yeah, so this is Castle Siege. In Universe, this is the way for soccer fans to battle each other. So what you have to do is there are 3 flags you and your opponent both have 3 flags placed down. You have to capture your opponent's flags. You do this by taking out the opponent's fortress and then hitting their flags with either the catapult, which Noots is using now, or the crayon cannon. You can get multiple flags at once.
Like I just there?
Nice. Yeah, but it is hard to do. It is possible to get all 3 in one shot, but that requires like the best flag positioning. So Noots will just use the homing crayon to get the last one. So yeah, that's Castle Siege. It can go terribly. Like the opponent can fight back and like knock your catapult back to start, which just is terrible, but that is Castle Siege. But now we're on to French Frog Legs. So this is the penultimate level of the game. Despite being the second to last, it is actually quite easy. It's a pretty straightforward level. There are 3 rooms with Rita. She just has to get across those. Then there's the fight with Le Frog, with Roddy. So yeah, Noots is going to be doing the most optimal pathing, limiting the amount of grapples he needs to do. I found recently that you can just immediately bank left, and make that grapple, then grapple jump up there. It's just much faster than how it used to be done. And then room 3, again, just basic grappling, and then getting to the end of that. As for the Le Frog fight, Le Frog will first attach himself onto the walls and stick his tongue out at you. After he sticks his tongue out, you can hit his tongue, and that'll knock him off the wall and make him vulnerable. Noots will do the same advanced 3-hit combo into the spin move combo. That is just the most effective way to deal damage to Le Frog. There is no known 1 cycle for Le Frog, unlike how Arachnid is. So yeah, he'll do that, then he'll go on the wall 1 more time. Noots will just hit him with a spin attack, which will do 3 HP, then he'll run away. As opposed to sticking to the walls, he will now just go to cartwheeling you and attacking you directly. He just needs to do the spin move combo 2 more times, now just 1 more time, and that's the fight.
Yep, that went pretty darn clean.
Yeah, about as clean as you can get. That is the most optimal way to take him out, at least with current strategies. We don't know if there's a way to break him, but we are hoping. He does start off the battle, like on the very first cutscene, T-posing, so he's already kind of broken in that sense. But now we are at Amphibian Dawn, the final level of this game. So first, Noots has to skip 19 cutscenes. So, yeah, you'll see a bunch of skipping. So the first part you have to do, so switch from Roddy to Rita, back to Roddy, back to Rita. So first, the Toad will shoot out these liquid nitrogen flasks at Roddy. These will make him hit his own terminals. There are 3 of them. One on the left, which is sitting right now. He's going to go to the back. And then there's one on the right. Each terminal takes 3 hits until they break. Once all 3 are broken, we then move on to Rita's section. This is when Rita has to fight. She has 3 mini bosses she has to take down. Fatberry, Timble-Nosed Head, and Lady Killer. So Rita's best means of attack is her normal combo with her bungee cord. Her spin move is pretty good, as in it's fast, and it also in total deals 3 damage, much faster than what you do with the normal attack combo. However, there's no forward hitbox, and Rita automatically locks onto her enemies, look them straight in the eye, so it is very difficult to hit the spin hitbox. We'll see if he goes for the spin to finish them off.
I tried there, but it's a little hard. Fatberry's down, and now it's time for Thimble-Nosed Head to take the beating.
Yeah, so each rat is only vulnerable for a window of time once you exploit their weakness. As we saw with Fatberry, his weakness was the whole shower thing. Thimble-Nosed Head's weakness is the camera flash, and we'll see Lady Killer's weakness is the vents. That will blow his hair off and make him vulnerable. Each rat has 8 HP, so we can get them down in 2 cycles. If we could do the spin moves and do them all perfectly, we can take them out in one cycle. We will have enough time to do that, but unfortunately,
Lady Killer with
the
it
move is
there.
hard to get. Yeah, very nice. So the spin move itself does 2 damage, so to get the full spin hit combo, she has to hit the regular attack, which doesn't really have a backwards hitbox, and then hit the spin move, which has a backwards hitbox. Now we're back to Roddy. This is the last time we'll play as him for the run. This section is just a big obstacle course. It is there's a lot of things going on. A lot of hitboxes from the steam, things that kill you instantly, like this crushing gate. Then there's the electric things that kill you instantly. And there's holes in the floor, which if you fall down, will kill you instantly. Yeah, so Noots will just get his way through here, and that's pretty much it.
In the fan without a collision box at all. You're supposed to go to the left and turn it off, but Roddy is immune to fans. The Toad didn't exactly account for that, so...
Yeah, he put so many hitboxes everywhere else, but not the fan.
You shall never escape!
Rookie mistake right there. But now we're on to Rita. So what Rita has to do now is she has to hit the switch, grapple onto this upper section, press the button on the ground, and grapple again to like drop the liquid nitrogen. She'll do this sequence 2 more times, and then the Toad will get angry. And you follow him up top, and there starts the final boss battle. As opposed to fighting him directly, he will just be throwing his flasks at you while standing on 3 platforms. Each platform has 2 health. Noots will knock it down when he knocks down the flasks. So yeah, he'll be doing that fight, and time will be coming up soon. Once all the platforms are down and the screen goes black, that will be time. Noots will call it.
Stop the Amphibian Dawn!
Alright, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, time.
Speaking
So
of
that
whom,
is
where has he gone
flushed
off to?
away.
Yeah,
We have stopped the Amphibian Dawn, and yeah.
Save
that's
Ritopoulos.
Save Retro.
Alrighty, so thank you everybody for watching. I'd like to give some special shout outs.
I'll be off on my
First shout
holiday.
out is to Lance. He was the proprietor, the pioneer, the premier runner of this game
Mate, would you?
when about 5 years ago, I'm pretty sure. And
If you don't
he's
mind taking a
been
risk or
sticking with
two.
it ever since.
Risk?
Not exactly,
What are you talking
you know,
about?
doing runs, but he's been glitch hunting
worth doing
and
is worth
providing us
taking
with
a
all sorts of valuable and useful information. And
ya.
we wouldn't be here without him, so big shout out to him. Shout outs to Super Squonk, who has done a lot of different runs for licensed games like The Incredibles and more. And he's contributed quite a bit to the game as well. I had to get through his run to get world record, in
Tell you
fact.
what, I'll let you be captain every
And my
other
next
day.
shout out is my commentator here, Kuro. He's done quite a bit ever since he's, you know, gotten here. He straight up just optimized French frog legs. He's made tutorials. He's put an arm, a leg, and the rest of his body out there for this game, and I appreciate that a lot. And my last shout out is Zoot. He has been doing some stuff with the Game Boy Advance game, and as well as several other things, helping out with figuring out what categories we should do, like all side missions. He helped with that. And that's all the big shoutouts I have. But yes, shoutouts to the rest of the Flushed Away Discord. They are true homies. Very epic people. Should check them out, by the way. Anyway, that is going to do it for Flushed Away. I really hope that everybody enjoyed. It was a real pleasure to run for License-a-thon, so I'm glad I could do that. And yeah, that's gonna be it. I'm gonna be signing off, and I will see y'all later.
Yep, thank you, Newts. Thank you, License-a-thon. Thanks for having us.
And we're glad you did that run at License-a-thon. So we're going to be going to a short intermission, and then we're going to have the Fairy Oddparents Shadow Showdown. Be assured that we did fix our tech issues, so we'll definitely be having that up next. So we'll be back in a bit.